How to fix your emotional architecture before perfectionism destroys you. 1. The day your value became dependent on your performance. Here we will explore the invisible moment in which you internalize the idea that you would only be loved, recognized, or respected if you delivered results. The goal is to generate deep identification right from the start point. 2. Perfectionism is not a requirement. It is a sophisticated fear. In this topic, we will dismantle the belief that perfectionism is synonymous with excellence, showing how it is a socially accepted version of the fear of rejection and exposure. 3. The constant competence trap. Explore the psychological strain of feeling like you always need to be the most prepared, the most responsible, or the strongest, and how this creates silent emotional isolation. 4. When the error stops being an event and becomes an identity. Here we will discuss how the brain transforms occasional failures into permanent judgments about who you are, creating a fragile and reactive emotional structure. 5. The illusion of emotional self-sufficiency. Topic will address how perfectionist people avoid asking for help because they believe they need to handle everything alone, reinforcing a pattern of continuous overload. 6. The body never lies. The physical impact of internal pressure. Let's analyze how chronic muscle tension, mental fatigue, and changes in sleep are symptoms of an emotional architecture built under hypervigilance. 7. The culture of high performance and the myth of absolute control. Here we will discuss how the professional environment reinforces perfectionist standards and how the search for total control creates structural anxiety. 8. The silent comparison that fuels self-discipline. We'll explore the impact of constant comparisons, especially in digital environments, on distorting perceptions of progress and sufficiency. 9. The relationship between perfectionism and difficulty enjoying achievements. At this point, we will analyze why the feeling of satisfaction is short-lived for those who live under self-control, generating a continuous cycle of seeking validation. 10. The danger of emotional rigidity disguised as discipline. Here we will differentiate healthy discipline from emotional rigidity, showing how internal inflexibility reduces adaptation and increases suffering. 11. The role of vulnerability in structural reconstruction. We will discuss how admitting limits and imperfections does not weaken personal image, but strengthens the emotional foundation. 12. The need to redefine success before rebuilding the foundation. Topic addresses how the personal concept of success is often contaminated by external expectations and needs to be reformulated to allow emotional balance. 13. Developing emotional elasticity instead of rigid resistance. The concept of emotional elasticity will be presented as an alternative to constant resistance, showing that flexibility is a sign of mature strength. 14. The courage to slow down, to not fall apart. At this point, the strategic importance of pause and sustainable rhythm will be explored as part of building a lasting emotional structure. 15. Before looking for more results, rebuild your base. Impactful conclusion that reinforces that true excellence is born from internal stability, and that no external success compensates for a compromised emotional foundation. 16. The feeling of never arriving. Topic will explore the psychological experience of permanently living almost there, even after relevant achievements, and how this reveals an emotional architecture guided by internal scarcity. 17. The addiction to anticipating catastrophes. Here we will discuss how perfectionism creates a mental habit of predicting negative scenarios before they even exist, keeping the nervous system in a state of continuous alert. 18. The inability to end cycles. It will be discussed how perfectionist people have difficulty considering something completed, reviewing, adjusting, and re-evaluating excessively, which consumes structural, emotional energy. 19. The emotional economy of self-charge. This point we will analyze how perfectionism works as an internal system of fines, where each failure generates automatic emotional punishment. 20. Image maintenance, anxiety. We will discuss the invisible wear and tear of sustaining a reputation for constant excellence and the fear of losing the standard built over time. 21. The relationship between perfectionism and difficulty delegating. We'll explore how excessive control arises from the belief that no one will do as well as you, compromising trust and personal expansion. 2. The loneliness of high performance. It will be analyzed how the search for perfection can remove genuine connections, creating relationships based on performance rather than authenticity. 23. Intolerance to the natural rhythm of life. Here we will discuss how perfectionism conflicts with natural cycles of learning, error, and maturation, requiring constant linear growth. 24. Discomfort with humanity itself. In this topic, we will explore how the perfectionist fights natural human traits, vulnerability, doubt, limitation by trying to eliminate them instead of integrating them. 25. The silent competition. With yourself, we will address the pattern of constant self-comparison with past versions or future ideals, generating chronic frustration. 26. The creative cost of excessive demand. Here, we will discuss how the fear of making mistakes reduces spontaneity, innovation, and the ability to try new possibilities. 27. Fragility hidden under the image of strength. Will be analyzed how, behind extreme discipline, there is often structural insecurity that depends on external validation. 28. The cumulative effect of unprocessed tension. We will explore how small daily frustrations, when not emotionally integrated, create progressive wear on the internal structure. 29. The need to relearn how to measure progress. At this point, the importance of redefining internal growth metrics will be discussed, replacing absolute standards with sustainable evolution. 30. No skyscraper can stand without a reinforced foundation. Conclusion: reinforcing that high performance does not compensate for an unstable emotional foundation, and that rebuilding the internal architecture is the only path to lasting excellence.